So I'm gonna follow up yesterday's video with 3 reasons that officers resign from law enforcement. It's similar to reasons that people don't get involved with law enforcement, but it's also very different. And here's why. Number 1, we're gonna discuss money. And the money aspect is different. Same topic, different, but it's different. Because the problem that makes people leave is a lot of officers go through the academy and they go through the struggle of not being told in those academies or warned that you're not going to be able to work these extra jobs that they hyped up the entire time you were in there until you finish field training. Field training can last anywhere from 3 to 7 months in some cases. Everywhere I went, it lasted just 3 months. But I guess if you're not great at it, they might hold you back. I don't know what all goes into that. But I know FTO has to be completed in order for you to work extra jobs at most departments, with the exception of some here in the state of Texas. So they go into it thinking they're going to have all this money, calculating that shit up before they even get the job. Well, it turns out you're only going to be making that regular wage for the first 3 to 7 months. So number 2 is going to be supervisors. You got a lot of supervisors in this field of work that got this hypocrisy mentality that says rules for you but not for me. They're not going to stand on their own rules. I personally disagree with that. So a lot of officers end up butting heads with their supervisors, and they end up wanting to leave because the supervisor makes their life hell, or they'll terminate you and then fuck you over on your record to make sure that you can't get on with an agency once you leave there. That actually happens quite often in law enforcement. Good supervisors are going to make sure you can butt heads with these guys, and these are the best supervisors I've ever had. This is how each of them are. You can butt heads with them, agree to disagree, or somebody, whether it's you or even him, are going to walk away with more knowledge than you had before. Because here's the thing about law enforcement, it changes all the fucking time. It is impossible to know everything there is to know about law enforcement. It's impossible. So every cop that acts like a fucking know-it-all, he don't know jack shit. The laws constantly change. So a good supervisor will either walk away applying whatever it is that you told him to the way that he polices and the way that he holds his leadership, or you'll walk away the same way with even more respect for that supervisor than you had before the initial argument. Those are good supervisors. Now, there's definitely more of the shitty ones than there are the good ones in this case. In my experience, anyways. But yes, there are good ones out there. But they're hard to find. But that's the reason I'm doing this, everybody. Because I want to weed these motherfuckers out that are shitty supervisors that are dirtying up everybody's records. And then you got number 3, expectations are too high. You got a lot of officers get out of the academy, get done with FTO, and they think, shit, you're going to be able to, well, they learn in FTO that this isn't the case, but they get out that academy and they believe, well, I'm just going to be able to fucking arrest people on the spot. Wrong. There's actually a lot of fucking hoops you got to jump through per arrest, even clean cut arrests, where you catch them in the act. There's still shit that you gotta go through. Not everywhere, but I know in the bigger cities, definitely here in Houston, if it's a fucking felony, call that fucking DA. You got to get confirmation from the DA, and you would be amazed the kind of shit that they'll tell you, nah, we can't arrest for that. You got to know the laws. You got to be able to write reports. A lot of officers go through the problem of, well, it's really growing pains to me, but they go through the issues of they gotta get shit thrown out in court first. And that's just the way it is. I personally didn't go through that phase. My First year, I had not one case thrown out. Even now, I think there was maybe 3 cases that I had thrown out overall. But just food for thought. God bless everybody. Christ is King. If you ain't saved, get saved. St. Michael out.